Hey, Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Joining me in the studio, it is Leanne Storan, who is Tax Director with EY Ernst & Young Horse in Limerick. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Meghann. Delighted to be here.
Now, we are going to, of course, talk about budget.
Of course, topic of the week.
I know, it's dominating now, apart from Colleen Rooney and Rebecca Vardy.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, also very interesting.
Budget is, of course, the big topic.
Yeah,
I think,
gives a break from Brexit anyway.
Isn't it? And it's something, I suppose, that we all actually have to be tuned in on. Exactly. It doesn't matter if it doesn't matter what your status is. It affects everyone. Yeah. So let's get right into it. So let's talk about consumers first.
Yeah. So I think overall it was a very cautious and restrained budget. With the backdrop of Brexit, that was always going to be the case. It did probably a very small amount about putting money back in people's pockets. Yeah. I think the two things you could probably point to in that sense is that they did increase the self-employed tax credit, which is something we've been talking about for a while, that they need to equalise the disadvantage between self-employed people and employed people. So they did something small there, increasing the credit by €150. Still a bit more to go. They also increased the home carers credit by €100. So that affects couples, I guess, where one person stays at home. So credit slightly increased, not a whole pile, but it did. And, actually, it did put money back in people's pockets, but actually from a policy perspective, it did nothing for families where two people work. And actually it disincentivises people to actually go out and get work and part-time work. And in this era where, we have lots of, there's plenty of jobs there to be filled. So, it did put money back in people's pockets, we would have concerns about that. I think other than that, it was totally a Brexit-focused budget. Yeah. It was mentioned 67 times in the speech, by the way. Yeah. So I think Brexit is like, the first 15 minutes of the minister's speech was dedicated to Brexit. And given, I think, given our infrastructure needs in the economy, given our public policy needs, given what we have to do in terms of our challenge on climate change, I think the days of tax giveaways for everyone getting something, they're long gone. I think everyone's just going to have to accept that.
Perfect. I know. I think I was talking to someone during the week and we were talking about Charlie McCreevy, and he was like, "You get this, you get that, you get this," and he said, "I think the fun times are kind of over." The
fun times are over, yeah, for sure, yeah, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm sure if you spoke to any economists, they'd be delighted with that approach long term.
When you mentioned there about the self-employed, is that kind of almost saying that maybe you're better off now to work for a company, or is it kind of putting people off maybe work for themselves now?
Not necessarily. It's always been there, that gap. There are obviously other advantages to being self-employed. You can claim lots of expenses against your own income and stuff. So it's just we would like to see it being equalised, that there's equal treatment between PAYE and self-employed. But I wouldn't say it's a significant enough difference to discourage being self-employed, certainly not.
Okay, interesting. Another thing I heard that if you are a diesel driver like myself, you're going to be affected. I know that there was queues going into all the petrol stations.
Yeah, I saw those as well. So that was another big focus of the budget, the carbon tax. So the carbon tax has gone up by €6 per tonne. So it's gone from €20 to 26. Conservative in a way, as we're supposed to be getting to €80 per tonne by 2030. So a small way in addressing that, but obviously that will hit people in the pocket straight away from last Tuesday night. With petrol and diesel prices going up, and the home heating oil will also be going up from May of next year, so after the winter period. So that's going to be an immediate effect for consumers as well.
I think the problem though is that the cost of these eco cars are so expensive that it's kind of hard to just suddenly jump from a regular diesel and petrol to one of these greener cars. Obviously we all want a greener car, but it's just the cost. So
it's prohibitive.
I think maybe the government's going to have to do something there where they'll encourage us maybe to get these cars. Obviously we'd all
without doubt, yeah, of course. And there was provision in the budget for investment in those kind of things, like the infrastructure around the environmentally friendly cars, the electric cars and all that.
And plug-ins,
but did it go far enough? Probably not. But again, with Brexit looming in the background, I think they probably gave as much as they could towards it, but it's definitely an area that has to be really, really focused on in the years ahead. I
know another one that doesn't affect me, and I know will affect a lot of people, is, of course, cigarettes have gone up again. I feel like it's getting to the stage where cigarettes
it's just every year. There's no exactly, yeah.
But I just wonder, are people quitting as much as they go up?
I'm not sure the date on it, to be honest. I think from what I've heard, kind of they seem to be saying the rates are coming down.
Okay.
But again, I wouldn't be an expert now on that.
Yeah, I know. I seems to, I don't know, I think if the people are smokers, they're smokers.
Exactly. I think those diehard smokers, pardon the pun, they're going to pay for them anyway. So
that's
it's just getting more expensive. Yeah.
Now let's move on to businesses and entrepreneurs.
Sure, yeah. So that was an area, our entrepreneurs relief, I've spoken about it many times, but it's an area that we were hopefully expecting some tweak in the relief for those. And it was widely kind of consulted on and represented beforehand. So disappointing that nothing was done on that. So, particularly with Brexit in the background, entrepreneurs, outside of the major cities, they're the people who they innovate, they create employment, really important outside of Dublin and the larger cities. So it was really disappointing not to see some movement on that. The equivalent regime in the UK, it gives relief on 10 million worth of profits, and in Ireland it's €1. And post Brexit, it's really anti-competitive for us, and it is a big concern. So we would be hoping that will be addressed in the near future, at the latest by the next budget.
Especially in Limerick, because we've so many entrepreneurs. I mean, so many incredible people doing really great things.
They're the people who are so innovative, as I say, in creating those jobs. So I think that absolutely has to be focused on.
And is there anything major now for business owners?
I think another area would be interesting is probably the changes to the R&D tax credit regime. So that's actually another way of incentivising people who do R&D. So the credit at the moment, it's a world-class credit, but multinationals get most of the benefit from it. So there was tweaks in the budget this year on that. What they're doing is they've increased the rate of the credit from 25% to 30% for small and micro-sized businesses, and they reduced the cap on outsourcing to universities from 5% to 15%. Which is good. Again, it's going to foster that collaboration between industry and the universities. Brilliant. Really pleased about that, and it's something we would have been strongly advocating for. Did it go far enough? Again, always more to do. We'd hope they would, kind of reduce documentation requirements for SMEs, and we would have advocated for a system whereby you get that relief much quicker, over a year rather than the current 3 years that the relief can be got. So more to do again.
More to do, but I suppose the changes are in. Leanne, thank you so much for chatting to the Limerick Post show. It's been really interesting. I know we could probably chat here for hours.
Oh, plenty more to talk about, yeah.
Loads to talk about. I'm learning so much from you, so thank you so much for chatting to us.
You're very welcome, thank you.